worms, piercing just about any crop planted by farmers. Together, they target just about anything: tomatoes, thyme, onion, escallion, cucumber, callaloo, melon, and beetroot. Worms have eaten acres of crops, putting farmers out of work. Combined, the losses are in the millions.
Good day. My name is Lancelot Riley, and we are Beasc. We're giving farmers the ability to fight the ravaging war against the beet armyworm and the agricultural sector. Now, allow me to share our story. Our CEO, Beasc, comes from a farming community in the parish of St. Elizabeth. Now, in 2015, her family's farm was ravaged by the devastation of the beet armyworm. We wanted to find out if other farmers, like her family, experienced this problem, or if it was just an isolated situation. So we formed our most critical assumption that farmers were severely affected by the beet armyworm, and it was impacting their livelihood. So we got out of the building, and we interviewed 152 farmers from several provinces in Jamaica. We spoke to farmers from Nigeria and even Uganda. We went to several farmers meetings. It took us 8 weeks and cost us $25. And we found that farmers had an adverse relationship with the beet armyworm. 92% of farmers came into contact with the beet armyworm. However, they told us that they lost between 50 to 100% of their crops overnight. So desperate was the situation that they turned to illegal pesticides, putting themselves and their customers at risk. Now, Jamaica is an agricultural-based society, and we lose over $100 million each year due to beet armyworm. Globally, the agricultural trade has lost $12 billion, with Africa sustaining the greatest amount of losses. Now, we had validated that indeed the beet armyworm was a grave problem, and that it was monetizable as farmers were seeking to find a solution to this problem. But what were farmers doing about this? We found that they were mainly using pesticides. Now, what made pesticides problematic was that beet armyworm was highly adaptable to most chemicals, and that for this solution to work, the pesticides needed to come into contact with the beet armyworm. However, due to irrigation or simple rainfall, it would wash the pesticides off the crop. And what made it even worse is that the beet armyworm would burrow into the plants. But we noticed too that the worms did not attack all plants. So our next assumption was that we could extract the properties from these plants and create a new organic and environmentally safe pesticide. And we would use this to target the worms. And our customers, our farmers, would welcome this solution. We went to the lab. We did over 31 iterations, but we failed miserably. All our experiments did not give the desired results, as the beet armyworm still attacked the plant, even when they were exposed to our solution. We had to pivot. We had invalidated our assumption. This was a major pivot for us. But we pivoted rapidly, and it only took us 2 weeks and $30 to do it. We turned to our experts, and we found that our experts were blaming the farmers. They said that the farmers were misusing the pesticides, and that they were using arbitrary measurements. We learned that misuse of pesticides provided several problems for farmers. One, it damaged the ecosystem, and it further compounded the problem that farmers were having. We assumed that the incorrect farming practices were indeed the cause of this infestation, and we could solve this by creating an automated spray bottle that would mix the pesticides in the right ratio, and that we could spray the crops at night, since we also assumed that the beet armyworm fed mostly at night. But we brought this idea to our customers, and they rejected it. 90% of farmers were not interested in what we had to offer. They had invalidated our assumption about our MVP. They told us that the pesticides just did not work, and that they believed that killing the moth would be a more feasible approach. Again, we had to pivot. We got some research done, and we realized that what made the moth so dangerous is because they developed 4 stages, from a moth to a pupa. Now, one moth is able to lay up to 200 eggs, giving it the ability to reproduce exponentially. This was amazing for us. We decided that we could create a biological control method. We could use a biological control method that would target the moth and stop its reproduction and stop its spread, and that it would be the most environmentally friendly approach. So, using the feedback from our customers, we went back to the lab, and we were very lean. We used salvaged copper wires. We used a PVC pipe, a light socket, and a light bulb to build our very first prototype. And what the intention was that we showed farmers that we could use pheromone traps to attract the moth, and that would we also kill them using high voltage electricity. And this solution would be solar powered, so they could use it in their fields without having to worry. We brought it to our farmers. We spoke to 67 farmers from Jamaica and in Nigeria. And we went to several farmers meetings. We even spoke to the key stakeholders, the Beat Army World Task Force established by the government in Jamaica, and they loved the idea. 86% of our farmers wanted our solution. We were very excited about what we had to offer. But during our customer discovery again, we found that farmers not only suffered from losses to their crops from the Beat Army World, but theft, the lack of proper data to make farming decisions were another major pain point for farmers. They wanted to know if we could help them solve this problem. We said, yeah, we could do that. By simply adding sensors to a solution, we could create a solution that would, enabled proximity sensors, motion detection camera, and cameras, and also geo-tracking sensors allowing farmers to monitor their crops real time. So not only would we be able to provide our farmers a solution to fight the Beat Army worm, but also to help them monitor their crops real time. So after several iterations, we came up with our Beasc smart farm system. It would use solar power, and it would also incorporate our trap. Now, farmers are able to use our solution simply by just purchasing add-ons to upgrade our system. We would send data that the solution gets to our online mobile database that the farmers will have access to. They would be able to monitor their crops real time and get real-time geodata to better make farming decisions. Now, our basic solution would definitely target the worms, and it would stop the spread of the Beat Army worm. Now, our more advanced solution would incorporate sensors that would allow farmers to do more things. We were able to build our most basic solution for $80 and our more advanced solution for $400. And farmers were willing to spend between $150 to $200 for a basic solution. And they were happy to spend $1,000 for a more advanced solution. We even had pre-orders. Now, one of our farmers that we had approached, he was so excited about our product. He said he wanted two right away. And we have pre-orders for our solution. We're able to make recurring revenue through selling the receptors or the pheromone receptors to attract them up. And we're also able to sell upgrades to our system because our solution can do so much more. We were able to validate all of these key assumptions. But another key assumption for us was that farmers wanted to see us in major hardware stores and farm stores. But they told us no. They wanted an intimate, direct relationship with us. So we had to create technical support. We had needed training for our farmers and also maintenance services. How would we do this? Well, the key partners are very important to us. And they have also written these letters of intent that they want to support our business. So, with their network of over 197,000 farmers, we are able to get the technical support and the network needed to reach our farmers. We've also partnered with various experts in the field, such as Mrs. Martin Clark, an environmental scientist, to give us the field testing, to help us do the field testing, and give us the right human resources needed to bring our product to market. We were able to use Canvas to map all the major assumptions and give the farmers exactly what they wanted. We found that the Beat Army worm was indeed a problem. We spoke to several farmers. We went to several iterations and found that we had to pivot. And farmers were able to validate our most critical assumptions. we are Beasc, and we are giving farmers the weapons to fight the ravaging war against the bees and the worm. Thank you.
On your basic question, on your basic solution, how many of these do you need? Is it just one or
Okay.
per size of farm?
Okay, the effectiveness radius for pheromone traps are about 2 acres. Now, what we found is that the bees animal travels overnight, and what we can find, whatever the population density is within your farm, it will be effective within a 2 acre radius. So, for example, you have the pest at one side, and overnight they reach the other side just because of the way they travel. So one is effective, for one is effective.
Okay. And just one follow-up is, have you collected any data to see how effective the solution has been?
We're still testing. What we find is that the population density changes during the year. So it really depends on the population that is on your field. So we're still testing and working with the experts to get the exact numbers. But those numbers will change over time and they will fluctuate depending on the population density.
Great presentation. I have to say you scared me at one point because I thought you were going to pivot to electrocuting people coming in, so I'm glad you didn't hit it that way, so thanks. Couple things. One, I'm really interested in the receptor recurring revenue, how often they need to be replaced, and two, do you have any patents or applying patents to prevent other people from using their solution for your receptors?
Okay, so we're still working through the process. We're still working through the process of getting the patents and ensuring that we design the machine properly. So R&D is the next big step for us. However, in terms of the recurring revenue, each pheromone lasts for 3 weeks, and for a crop size, say 2 acres, someone would need to replace those receptors quite often. Right? So what we found is that for a farmer, every 3 months they will need to repurchase the receptors from us, and we're selling them as a package deal. So $8 per package, and every 3 months they'll be purchasing the items.
You mentioned that you've got some pre-orders. Were those at I forget what the price range was, but it was like $700 for the basic one. How much did people pay for the pre-orders?
All right, we signed the $1,000 at $1,000, the highest amount, and they were willing to pay even more. But what we found too is that some persons are willing to lease the item as well. So what we're doing is selling them at where the deposit would be at our cost price, and we incrementally allocating the cost.
So in those cases, you actually got money for the pre-order. It wasn't like signing an agreement to buy later, but you actually have money from those pre-orders?
All right, we have commitment letters. So that once we deliver within the next 3 months, we're in business. One of the persons that we spoke to, they actually got a grant to purchase all equipment. So that's one of the equipment. So we definitely know that these persons will purchase from us.
And then you mentioned some of the partners. Is that something that you have to share revenue with, or what kind of partnership is that?
We're only using the partners with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, which is a farming association. We're really only using them to get access to their farmers and sort of technical support, because they do provide training for their farmers. So when we go along with their farmers, actually what we did many times was that we went along with the agents and spoke to the farmers directly. But the agents were really our working.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your sales and marketing expenses?
Okay. We haven't gone in depth in terms of what our sales and marketing expense would be. But we assume that 500,000 US dollars per year, well, $500,000 would be our research and market development cost. So building into that startup cost, we would also be spending quite a bit on informing the customers and public education as well. So we were trying to be really lean as well. So we were mostly relying on the network of the rural agricultural development or the agents to go along with them and be a part of their programs so that they would, by almost second nature, we would be there and talk to their customers, their farmers who would be owners.